Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Taurus collective in late May 2026? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in late May 2026. What's the vibe? What's the energy? I hope every one of you had a very happy birthday. We're right now in Gemini season, so I hope it was a good one for you, my friends. Oh, okay. And as I say that, the card pops right out, and we have the Magician. Beautiful. Now, this Magician does have a couple of little differences from the Magician that's in the tarot deck. But normally, I like it for the most part, right? We see this dapper gentleman here doing a lot of magic tricks. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So, again, as you can see, we have this beautiful image here of this sharp dressed individual doing magic tricks, right? We got the white dove, he's producing the ring trick, and we got coins, and he's doing all these cool things. Now, in the tarot deck, the Magician is strong when it comes to anything of ritual, spirituality, but also manifestation is a huge one, where it's like I'm trying to control my path, I'm trying to channel my energy this way and that way. So normally I like this card. Just know that your powers of creation are heightened in this time. I believe that we are all creators, we all have the spark of the divine within us, and that there are a lot of things in life that we can control, especially when we have a magnetic pull. And that's what this card absolutely does, similar to the one in the tarot deck. So it's great for manifesting. If you're not purposely manifesting, you might want to look into it. But that's not all. With this one, it does also have this little sub note of illusion, right? Because what are magicians really, or mostly, doing sleight of hand, where it's like, hey, look at this hand, while the other one is doing something totally different, right? Like, oh, I have this up my sleeve. So there is this illusionary aspect here, or maybe there is something that spirit wants you to focus on. It does have that mystery involved. But we're going to put him down here. I love it for the control. I love it for the manifesting, the creating, the spirituality. But the unknowns, the questions, if your gut's telling you that there's more to a situation, this card should grab our attention. So we're going to let him keep doing his magic show. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Taurus. What do we got? My guide, spirit team. And yeah, and while we get this deck all shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled, They Are Watching You. A lot of observation. Now, that title wasn't meant to make anyone all, like, nervous or on edge, but I did pick up multiple layers of observation happening, right? Where it's like maybe there's something that spirit wants you to keep an eye on, or maybe you're paying attention to this while someone's paying attention to you. It was very peculiar. Not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, there was a lot of observation, watching, acquiring information happening last week. So just know that energy might bleed over for a couple weeks. You might be getting a little more attention than you normally do. That's very possible. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. 3 cards for Taurus in late May. What's the vibe? Let's get this going here. Thank you. Cool. That's a good start. All right, so these 2 cards, they kind of work off of each other, or oppositely. So we start with a very, very good card. All right, we got the 10 of Pentacles right here in the beginning. It's one of my favorite cards. It's one of the best cards. We love this. This is starting from a really good place. But then we get to the card that came out with it. We have the 8 of Swords. So it's like, what's this? What is this? The energy itself can feel trapped, potentially. Let's get one more here and see what's happening. What do we got for Taurus, please? Thank you. Okay. So we got our good pal, the King of Cups, a.k.a. Kyle of Cups himself without a beard, holding a goblet. He is chilling out right here on the back end. He's just enjoying life, having himself a beverage. He also came out with the Four of Cups. So there is like this internal type of energy. Now, I don't necessarily feel like there's anything I'm super concerned with here, but the reading seems much more nuanced than it usually does. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that paints a nice picture for us, and it frames the reading, tells us how the energy flows. And you have a nice mixture this week. I always say when we have too much of one element, that's where things could get lopsided. You have earth, air, and water. Luckily, most of this energy is actually very, very complementary to Taurus placement. So, like, most of this reading is pretty good. I really want to keep a close eye on this. Now, when it comes to the earth, that's your power element, that's your comfort zone. It could represent stability and security, whether it's internally or externally. It could represent day to day life, it could represent routine, things that you do all the time. Like it's a set schedule. Pentacles and earth can represent money, work, business, finance, the material aspects of the world that we live in, home and family, all of these things. So it's like the stage at which the play is happening, if that makes sense. The downside to earth energy, sometimes it could be a little too set, a little too stubborn, not moving at the speed that you're liking. In the center, totally different vibe because we have the air. This one doesn't move fast enough. This one moves too fast, right? Like this energy here, it's a total vibe switch. So when we go from the Ten of Pentacles to the Eight of Swords, it's like, whoa, what's happening here? It's like the ground is a little shaky. But swords in and of themselves are more logical, pragmatic. It speaks about how we process information or giving information. It ties heavily into knowledge as well. Swords are big when it comes to communication and the thought process and perspective of things. The downside to swords is that, I mean, yeah, they could overthink sometimes. Sometimes it could be very cold and detached. So I find this very intriguing, this mixture, because it's like warm and firm, and then this energy here is like a little flighty and detached. On the back end here, we do have the water, which works very well with Taurus placement. So again, whether we're seeing water signs, but I would say that's the emotional realm, matters of the heart. So we got the heart and mind. We have that nice little balance that happened, the yin yang. It could be things, people, situations that we're emotionally invested in, things that we care about. It's very artistic, very creative. It thinks outside the box, and it just works so well with earth energy. The downside to water is that sometimes it could overwhelm. So we have a lot of different things, right? So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, as mentioned, one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. You start with the Ten of Pentacles, beautiful. We could just call that a win right away, and we're still going to clarify it. But we see the happy family. They're all surrounded, but they got their little puppy dogs and children, lots of pentacles. To me, this is a huge card of increase, level up type of energy. So again, wins, victories, blessings, all of that is in this Ten of Pentacles vibe, which I think is great. It's extremely expansive. It's especially good for work, money, and finances. So this is a good place to start. Stable, predictable, very solid foundation. So this is fantastic. Now, I usually like to start with an action card in the front, but I'll take this any day of the week just because of how expansive it is. So that's a good thing. The downside to the Ten of Pentacles is sometimes it could be a little too heavy, right? So again, whether it's a situation, whether it's a person's actions, whether it's the energy in general, the Ten of Pentacles has a lot of weight to it. And sometimes this could represent something or a circumstance that seems insurmountable. That's part of it. So we'll see. Again, it doesn't have to be that, but this is a very firm energy. It's very similar to the Hierophant. And firm does not mean bad. Now, moving to the middle, we have the complete opposite, as I already mentioned, not just with the elements, but with the way the cards present. But there is a little thread that binds these two cards together. We have the Eight of Swords right here, and we see this lady. She is all bound up. She's got a little blindfold on. She's got the hoodwink surrounded by the swords, and classically, this card can represent stress, anxiety, overthinking, being in one's own head, where it's like I'm thinking about something over and over again. I've been seeing this through a lot of the earth signs in recent weeks, not just you. Sometimes the Eight of Swords can feel trapped, feel cornered. And so when I see the Ten of Pentacles and I see the Eight of Swords right next to it, it either feels like a situation or a circumstance where it's like, there's not much I can do about this. So there could be various situations or things around you where it's like, all right, well, there's nothing I can really do about it. It is what it is. That's what this combination feels like to me. The good side of this card is that it moves quickly, right? So if it is a problem, if it is a situation or a hang up of some kind, it's like, all right, it looks like it might stick around for a long time, but this energy, actually, I work through it much quicker than I thought I would. So there could be a lot of problems or situations that might be easier solved than you might think. It could even be something that kind of just solves itself. Now, moving to the back end, we are back to the positive energy. We've got our good pal, the King of Cups there himself. This could be a water sign you're connected to. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. If that's not it, I always say kings represent control of their suit. And we spoke in depth about the water, where it's the emotion, the emotional investment, partnerships, things that we care about, the creativity. It's a fantasizing, imaginary type of energy. So when I see the King of Cups, yes, it's big feelings, but this is like cool, calm, collected. I got things under control. There's a nice balance with the King of Cups normally, but it does, in its rough side, represent energy or emotion that's just so intense where it's like I can't help but feel this feeling. Or I think a big thing we need to watch out for is overwhelm, especially with the weight that all this energy has. But I think it's actually good, honestly. Like when we go from the Ten of Pentacles to the Eight of Swords to the King of Cups, there could be a lot of things that are like a bump in the road where it's like, all right, things were great. This popped up. Now we're back to business. Here on the back end, Four of Cups. So again, the thought, imagination, watch the overthinking. It ties directly in with this, except this one's more fantasizing, head in the clouds. So I'm not saying it's you, but maybe someone you're connected to is like in their brain a little more so than usual. So I want to dive deeper in all of it, Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my friends, please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Ten of Pentacles. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Ten of Pentacles here? Thank you. Quick. Beautiful. Great. Love it. So we already have a win on the board. We already have a victory on the board, which is really, really nice. And this energy just seems like it's on autopilot, if that makes sense. Where it's like, yeah, no, I don't have to try. You know how sometimes in life there's certain things where it's like, oh, I just don't have the best luck there. But then there's certain things where it's just easy to me. That's how this feels. So like if we are talking about a win, victory, or a blessing, it's like, oh yeah, business as usual. Like this is easy to me. I don't know why it's coming through that way. So I think this absolutely is claimable energy. Now, when we get into the deeper aspects, if we put the wins, victories, all that stuff to the side, the Six of Cups can represent soul ties, soul connections, partnerships, people that we are really closely tied to, whether it is a romantic partner, a friend, a relative. Like this is someone where it's like we're from the same soul tribe. We're on very similar vibration. But this card can also be very sentimental, very emotional. It could think on the past and memories quite a bit. So like when I see it underneath this Ten of Pentacles, if I'm not repeating history in a good way, because that could be part of it too, where it's like I'm repeating history in a good way, it just feels easy to me. It's like just an energy that flows. So I think this is very claimable energy where there might be a winner victory coming in, where everything just seems to fall into place, line up, don't even got to try, things just fall together how they need to, where there's no forcing necessary. I would say aside from that, you might just be a little more sentimental than you usually are, like with this combination, because it's like memories. There's a lot of sentimentality. But we're going to move in on that Eight of Swords, because we're good there. That looks great. Let's see what the Eight of Swords has for you, because I want to get over to the King of Cups as well. Thank you. Okay. So we have the Nine of Wands in the upright underneath this Eight of Swords. This is a very, very cautious energy. I don't want to say too cautious, but can you ever be too careful? Right? Can you ever be too cautious? Like when I see the Eight of Swords with the Nine of Wands, it's like I need a plan for every possible eventuality. I need to think of every single angle of this situation. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law type stuff. That's so specific. I don't know why. But the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. It's someone that's been through a lot. It's someone that's been through a lot of things. They have a lot of wisdom through experience. They've been around the block a couple times, right? And there are certain things that they'd rather not repeat. Now, the Eight of Swords with the Nine of Wands can absolutely represent issues with communication, blockages with communication, and sometimes it could even be like a rejection of some sort. So I'm not saying that the energy feels very risky to me. In fact, it feels quite the opposite, where it's risk averse, where it's like, nope, I'm not risking it. Nope, I'm just going to play it safe. Now, for some of you, that could be advice from spirit, where it's like, hey, just keep things business as usual. Don't put your neck out there. Business as usual. Don't risk it for the biscuit. I don't know why that's coming through. Now, if this is a problem or a situation Hopefully it's something where it's like a bump in the road. I was picking that up in the beginning. I'm still getting that now, where it's like we're in flow. Boom, this pops up. Now we want to see how we come out of it. But yeah, it has an abundance of caution here for some reason. Doesn't feel like it's outright rejecting every single thing. I would just watch out for the overthinking though, right? Because thoughts become things. Sometimes, like if we hyper focus on potentials or problems, sometimes we could pull those things in. So I'd watch out for that. Let's go in on the King of Cups. We'll see what he has, then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is our good pal King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups, in the mix? That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so we have the Ace of Pentacles in the upright, fresh, new. I always say aces represent offers, opportunities, and this is one that just seems to fall into the lap. And I said it very early in the beginning, where it's like the less I try, the better I do. Where it's like something's just easy to me, something just falls into my lap. It's the same thing here on the back end. So for a lot of Tauruses in this time, yeah, could there be like surprising, unexpected wins or just big ones that just seem to materialize out of the blue? Absolutely, with what we got going on here. Aces, aside from the fresh nature, they can be conversation. They can be offers and opportunities, of course. So when I see it with the King of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, it's like an opportunity or an offer that comes to me. Now, offers don't just relate to work. They can be emotional offers as well, where maybe an energy opens up or maybe an energy approaches you. To me, that's the big thing I'm picking up. And I got this in the Leo reading this week as well, where it's like the less you try, the better. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like the less I try, the better the results. Where it's like the more I just stay in this flow state and let things come to me, the more magnetic I am, the better. And that's just how this energy feels, like overall, which I really, really like and appreciate. So we got massive offers, we got wins and victories, but I think the key ingredient is not forcing and just allowing. And which has been a big message recently. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So we got wins and victories of all types this week. I absolutely love it. If you kindly look in the box, position number one, we got the Ten of Pentacles, Six of Cups, something that just seems easy to me or comes easy to me. I just think it's great. There is like a sentimentality that I'm picking up here on the front, which is good. It just feels nice. I think it's very much claimable energy here. There could be a repeat win of some kind where it's like, oh yeah, I've done this before. It's like one of those. It's like a repeat win. In the center, I do have this really, really overly cautious energy. And again, it could be advice from Spirit where it's like, don't stick your neck out too far. But the Eight of Swords with the Nine of Wands, it's like, I'm just playing it safe, thinking of every angle, analyzing everything, reading between the lines. I don't know, there's this abundance of caution. You would know if you need to approach something cautiously. So we're not going to pound that home too much. It is what it is. But moving to the back end, we have more of these offers, wins, and victories. I don't know which one I'm going to pick for the title because there's so many different ones. We have the King of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles and upright, and it just kind of falls out of the sky, right? It's an energy that just comes in out of the blue where it's like the less I try, the better I do. So don't force anything, just allow and let things flow. And the energy is magnetic here. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. Let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. Let's get this shadow card out. Thank you. Cool. The Sun. All right, so even in the shadows, you get the most positive card in the whole deck, my friends. And yeah, Leo energy right here. The Sun is just beautiful source energy, the light, life, and love that shines down on us. So it's interesting that it shows up in the shadows because it illuminates the shadows. So what I would say for a lot of Tauruses in this time, there could be a lot of things where you connect the dots. You might have a lot of eureka moments or like aha moments where things just start to make sense. That's a big thing here with the Sun, which I think is absolutely beautiful. The only downside to the Sun, the big shadow side to the Sun, can represent information like unknown information coming to the surface. Things that I didn't want out there getting out there potentially. That's part of what this could be. And the intensity, right? Have you ever had sunburn? When the sun shows up in the shadows, it could be highly, highly intense. So again, we're all about the flow this week. For sure. We're all about the flow and just letting things do what they do. So, Taurus, that's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom-made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the Posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.